All right, hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Bekir from Relaunch Moms, and I'm super excited to have you here join us today. This evening we're talking about marital harmony and how it is linked to career success or career relaunch success. We've seen a lot of women who were trying to relaunch their careers, but they cannot relaunch their careers, not because there's anything or they're not competent enough or even village people, but it's their support system. It's maybe their husband or family members really do not understand why it is important for them to go back to work, number one, or, you know, just basically support them in the journey. Because as a woman who is working, it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of work. And it takes a village to actually raise a child. You're taking care of your child, taking care of your husband, you're taking care of yourself. And if you don't have adequate support, you are not going to thrive outside. So if you are flourishing in your home, in your marriage, you're most likely to succeed and flourish outside when you get the job. When imagine a scenario where it's your husband, you say, oh, you want to go back to work and you're trying to get a job, and your husband's like, why do you want to work? And this is not without prejudice to say that sometimes we enter into marriages and we know that, oh, this person is not going to allow me work, but I'm just going to marry him like that. And maybe God will change him. So sometimes the man even agrees and says, oh, we are going to, don't worry, you continue your job. For instance, he moves you from Port Harcourt to Castina, or moves you, marriage takes you from Lagos to Ibadan or something. I said, don't worry, I'm going to make sure that you get something. I'm going to make sure that you go back to work and all. But at the end of the day, when it's time that you're ready, when you feel you're ready, maybe you've had two, three kids and you think it's the right time for you to go back to work, he changes his mouth or he changes his mind. So in that case, what do we do? Okay, so that's why I brought in this um he does not know he's my friend, but he's my friend. From number one for me, he's a therapist, he's a clinical psychologist. In fact, I'm going to read out his CV, but I want you to really listen. And I like that we are bringing it from a man's perspective because and he's somebody who works with a lot of women. He works with Lagos State DSVA. And I'm sure that a lot of women, he must have counseled and come across a lot of women, in his career, in his time with DSVA. So I want us to really listen. And let me just quickly jump into it, okay? So that he will start off really quick. So about Hussein, about Mr. Hussein. Hussein Deldin is a licensed clinical psychologist, addiction recovery specialist, and a marriage counselor. He holds a BSc in psychology from the University of Ilorin and a master's degree in psychology from the University of Lagos, where he majored in clinical psychology. He is also a full member of the Nigerian Association of Clinical Psychology. Previously, he served as a lecturer at the College of Nursing and Midwifery, Kotangora, teaching behavioral sciences to over 100 nursing students. He has also worked as a research assistant, collaborating with the National Education Research and Development Council to integrate life skills and character education into the curriculum of primary and secondary schools in Nigeria. Currently, please, can we be shining him at the wall? Like, can we be clapping for him? I'm not even, this is like half of his profile. Look, please, let's be hailing him in the comment section, please. He's the only man among us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's be giving him thumbs up, so that he come and spill all the secrets to us. Okay. He currently serves as a clinical psychologist with the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, where he assesses survivors' psychological states and assists them in gaining closure and reintegration. His work includes providing crisis intervention, anger management, conflict resolution, and more. In addition, he works as an addiction recovery specialist at Synapse Services, where he counsels individuals and groups on issues such as stress, substance abuse, family dynamics. He guides his clients in developing skills and strategies for modifying behavior, empowering them to overcome challenges and live more fulfilling lives. He has a robust background in clinical psychology, and he's passionate about helping individuals achieve mental wellness through evidence-based therapeutic interventions. As a dedicated clinical psychologist, he works closely with individuals and families to support holistic healing from substance use disorders, trauma, and a range of mental health challenges. As a mental health advocate, he frequently shares insights on psychological care, stigma reduction, and self-care practices through professional talks, workshops, and social media platforms like LinkedIn and WhatsApp. His goal is not only to support recovery, but also to foster mental health awareness and personal growth in every individual he works with. So please let's put our hands together like once again, and over to you, Mr. Hussein. You have the floor for the next 30 to 40 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, and you are more than all I put. I have.
That's good afternoon.
You are more than I know that you are much more than all this, that I've read out. So thank you very much for joining us. We are really honored to have you in our midst.
All right. I'm also happy to be here. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do I have to on my video or I should just go on?
You can turn on your video. Let's just see your
Okay.
face. For a bit, teeny weeny bit. Then you can. Aha. So just hold on. Let me take a picture. Let me take a screenshot. Okay. This your cap. Did you go from, were you from Owambe or something? Or you have Owambe after this summer?
Today is Friday, so
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you can go ahead. I have the screenshot now. Thank you.
okay. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here. I'm happy to be here, and like she has said, this is what I do, and trying to help people to have better understanding, mental health, generally, marital harmony, and things like that generally. Okay, so because of the time she's giving me, which I feel like is not enough, because it's a whole package we have here, but let's try and see where we would be able to get. So moving on, like we all know, the topic we are trying to talk about today is enhancing marital harmony for a successful career relaunch, navigating support, communication, and balance. So let me just move on straight to the point. So before we can say that we are going into this topic, let's just try to do one or two introductions. The thing is that many professionals take career breaks due to parenting, health, educations, or whatever, relocation sometimes. And having to do this is very, very challenging emotionally, financially, and relation-wise. Like she said earlier, some of us had to stop our career because of maybe parenting, we gave birth, and we need to just hold on a bit. Different instances, the way it works for individually are different. I would have loved that we had the men, the other gender here, so that it's not just one party that has to do this. There's a whole lot of parts the other parties to need to take in this whole thing. So when it comes to that, career launch affects not just the individual, but the entire household. You as the mother or as the father, we are trying to make some changes about yourself. We are trying to relaunch your career. That's a whole lot. And one way or the other, you have a part to play in that family. So there's no how you are doing something different from what you usually do that will not affect the whole thing. And this affects the routines, the income, and sometimes emotional dynamics changes. And let us not forget the children are also involved. And one way or the other, it has a way of affecting them. So why is this discussion very important? It is very, very important because most of the time, career launch comes with stress, self-doubt, financial strain, and shifting of roles. So imagine you as the woman having to start up a career that is quite different from what you've been doing before, and the career is very, very tasky. And perhaps for a while you've been the an housewife always at home, and now there's going to definitely you have to leave home as early as maybe 6 7. There's going to be a lot of changes, and all this brings about stress stress. Sometimes you see yourself having to even doubt yourself, the financial strain, shift in roles, and all this generally leads to a lot of conflict. So without doing this, without clear communication and mutual support, most of the time, all this brings about resentment for you, emotional distance, and sometimes breakdown. And on the long run, it's if not properly planned and proper communication, you see the marriage having to face some strain and little things becomes issues. Resentment comes in and it becomes a problem for you to even put your focus in the new job or the new career you're just trying to start. So all these things are very, very important we talk about because it is the order of the day. We have mothers that are trying to go back to their work and a whole lot because we get a whole lot of this while we are at the session, therapy sessions, people coming in. Our marriage started having issues because I started working. I was not getting much from him before. I now started working, and now a whole lot of has changed. Our sexual life has been affected. We don't communicate. The children are just seeing almost every time is just silent treatment and things like that. So we get to get a lot of all this. So this is something we need to talk about, and how can we navigate it? So what are we getting from this day, from this webinar today? Three main things: support. How can we emotionally, mentally, and practically be supportive? It could be us that will be in the shoes, or it could be our partner that will be in the shoes. And how do you communicate too? Communication is also very, very important. There is no marriage that will work without communication. Take that. No marriage will work without. So, and how do we have this communication, the nonverbal aspect, strategies to maintain open and honest conversation about your expectations, your stress, and your fears. Balancing this whole thing, very, very important. Work-life balance is very important. How do you manage your work and at the same time your what is expected of you at home? How do you try to uh, manage the impact of career launch on marriage? One of it is that the moment some issues that comes up most of the time has to do with financial responsibility. For example, let's say change in income and financial responsibility comes up. So most of the time, temporary income loss or financial instability, perhaps one partner is unemployed or earning less. This can lead to stress, self-doubt, or guilt. If one partner, the partner that is working is overburdened with financial responsibilities, difference in spending habits or budgeting adjustments may lead to tension. Perhaps you're the one involved and now, okay, well, for most of the time, permit me to say this, most of the time, it gives a man joy to spend on his family. But well, the woman to spend definitely it doesn't have to only be the financial aspect. But one thing is always say that the moment the woman is the one doing more of the finances, not even sometimes the men too feels that way. So let me not be gender saying okay, the woman feel like this. Any party can feel like that. When the responsibility is becoming too much, maybe I'm the one spending so much money on family responsibilities, and I'm also the one working. Sometimes all this can become issues. And difference in spending habits or budgeting adjustment may also lead to tension how the maybe you're the one making the money, but how the husband is spending the money is quite different. He does not really have a job. Things like that can bring about a lot of issues in the house. So how can we deal with this? So because of time, I'll try to ask without communicating about everything, finances, your sexual life, the your values, your belief system, everything. These are the things that has to be in place even before you say you're getting married. So there are so many things that has to be in place before you're saying, okay, I'm choosing a partner. So the finances, you guys have to talk about the finances, your belief system, your communication, third party influence. Are you taking that? Your sexual intimacy. All these five things are very, very important that you put into consideration. So communication is it involves in every other things that we made mention. So the solution to issues like this when it comes up is that couples should discuss finances, talk about it. Are you doing 50-50? Are you doing 80-20? Whatever it is that works for you, what works for marriage A might not work for marriage B. You have to be able to have that conversation and be open about it and not just be like, okay, you're having other things at the back of your mind, but you're saying another thing entirely. Speak up and let your partner know about it. Adjustment in daily routines and household rules. These are one of the issues that comes up. You're not working before and now you started working. So what are the adjustments that will comes up? Sometimes your partner may need more time for job search. Maybe you're just about to start working, networking or training, or perhaps you started work and you have to go to different training. Maybe you're you stay in Lagos and training comes up in maybe Abuja or outside the country. How do you want to deal with this? These are real issues that would happen on real lifetime. Adjustment in daily routines and household rules. You people, the couples have to see it as a teamwork. When you see it as a teamwork, okay, my wife is doing the best. She's pushing her career. It's a win-win situation. My husband is pushing his career. It's a win-win situation. So when we see it as teamwork, it helps. So partners should redistribute tasks fairly and communicate openly about new expectations. Now there's already changes because she was not working and she has started working now. So how do we redistribute tasks? Is it that maybe the kind of work he does is allowed to still be at home as early as or as late as 9 a.m. It doesn't require having to get to work as early as 8 a.m. Perhaps he can be doing the school runs. You would have to maybe prepare the food before you leave the house as early as maybe 6. So you adjust this routine. And that's why the reason why I say that we also even need the men here, not just only the women, so that the moment we are seeing both parties being able to pick up their parts. Emotional impact. Like I said earlier, now you're starting something new. Change has happened. Your body is reacting to it. Stress comes in. You're excited. Sometimes the fear of failure can even come in, most especially when you're not even having a partner that is ready to help you. So whoever you call your partner is someone that is going to be your number one fan. So imagine you want to have maybe you're going for an open talk and the person you call your partner is there to tell you, okay, don't worry, you don't have to cook. I will take care of the kids, go and make your research, do your write-up, I'll be there for you. You understand? That alone, it's motivating. It helps you to be able to, okay, yes, I'll push up with this. I have someone there for me. And the moment you notice that, okay, you're being anxious about it, comes to you, tells you words of affirmation. Don't worry, you got this. I'm your number one fan. You can do it. Don't worry. Just I'll be by your side. And you say, okay, don't worry, let me drive you there. Things like that. Statement like that or actions like that from your partner goes a very long way. So let us flip the coin. Imagine you having a partner that's telling you, you're good for nothing, no. Why would they even give you this kind of job to do? Why? Who are you? You are nothing. So that kind of statement, if you are someone that you allow words to come into your side, one way or the other, it can affect your self-esteem and your confidence is going down. So the kind of partner we have goes a long way in helping us with whatever changes we are in, because we need to understand that this is change, career relaunch. You're trying to bring back that career that you once upon a time you've stopped as a result of one or two reasons. So in the moments where there's emotional impact, maybe like stress, self-doubt, one of the things we need from our partner, we need encouragement and reassurance. Like I said earlier, you got it. You take words of affirmation from people like that. Your partner is very, very important. From both sides can boost confidence and reduce tension. So if he's telling you something like that, you notice that you are feeling anxious, he hugs you, he say good words to you. On the long run, you're getting better because our emotions has a way of affecting our behavior. So another thing that also happens is the expectation from spouse, family, and society. We get to hear this a lot. I start working, and this is Africa. So most of the time, as a woman, you're working, and perhaps you're earning more than your husband, and some things will happen, and they start tagging it towards the fact that because you're earning more, even if it is a normal thing that doesn't have anything to do with the kind of job you're doing or the kind of amount of money you're making, a lot of things start coming up. You're the woman, the things that even sometimes your partner, if he doesn't, if he's not someone that is very, very self-aware. Hello, are you there? Can anyone hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so issues like these expectations, and we as individuals, we need to be very, very careful of our expectations. Most of the time, we tend to have rigid expectations where we are supposed to have, most of the time, supposed to have flexible expectations. So rigid expectation will be like, this is what I am expecting. This is like you don't even have a plan B to whatever you're expecting. It has to be this. And so when it doesn't even happen the way we wanted it to happen, problems comes in, we become anxious, we start feeling bad about some things. But when we have flexible expectations, it helps us to be able to move away from the moment the things we're expecting is not coming from outsider party. And when we talk about third party is even your children are third party. Your mother-in-law, your whoever it is, aside both of you, you and your husband is third party. So anybody coming in and saying, okay, this and that, you guys should stick to what you've agreed to, what you're expecting from each other, rather than external pressure. Setting realistic goals and timelines can also help you what to reduce the stress that comes from all this. What are the common challenges that couples face? One of it is time constraints leading to reduced quality. A career transition can demand time and energy. Like, depending on the kind of job you are doing, imagine you're working in the bank or you just got a job in the bank, you have to leave them very, very early. And one of the things that can happen is time demanding. I've seen a client whereby she works with a bank and she's always at work. Even on Saturday, she goes to work and she comes in very late. And she has a kind of husband that the kind and it was the old Lord. They always having issues. One or two things would happen, and the master saying that it's because you're making money, it's because you're doing this, you don't even have time for us, you're the wife of the house, and I have to be the one cooking, doing this, doing that. So one thing is, yes, as much as you're trying to be intentional about your work, you also have to find time for the family. You have to schedule intentional quality time. The truth is, all of us, we have that in it. We want attention. It's not only woman, both the men and the woman. We all want attention. So we have to find that quality time. Now, it's not just time, quality time, no matter how short it is, to keep that relationship going. Because perhaps you might have to leave the work, perhaps you could get sad. Anything can happen at work, but your family is also very, very important. In as much as you are trying to push your career, the family is also very, very uh, important. Okay. Uh, um, because of time, I'm trying to cut off some things. Part of the challenges we also face to, like I did mention, role shifts and one partner one uh, taking on more domestic responsibilities. And from that feeling of imbalance or resentment may arise. So one of the things we need to avoid as an individual issues in the house. So marriage and be like that. But if it is the other way around, this domestic violence, one way or the other, these issues continue. One way, subconsciously, it's part of you. And one way or the other, your wife has done something to your husband has done something. The only thing you have in the back of your mind is violence, aggression, anger. You just want to show them that that power is there. It could be the man, it could be, you've seen very, very important how we manage our issues because our children are really watching us. Right now, and you can leave other things. Don't let us put pressure on each other because yeah, or he or she has started a new job and is getting more money than before, starts, let us plan. Let us try to make some sacrifices for a very long-term benefit that will come for us. Emotional distance or feelings of neglect. This usually happens whereby maybe you that the one that you just got the job and the other person he has a job too, but perhaps not as tasky as your own. So one partner is now feeling too focused on their career, and the other party is feeling unappreciated or disconnected. I start feeling like the moment you started this job, you don't even have time for us. Things are not going as this. You don't care for my emotional needs. Anytime I try to move closer to you, you're always telling me you're busy. All these things can bring about issues. So how do we manage it? Regular checks in, words of affirmation, and small thoughtful gesture. Words that comes from us to our partner is very, very important. Telling them how much effort they are making, saying it to them, not just acting. Sometimes we just want to act it out. Say it sometimes. Try to understand the kind of partner you are. Some people, they are okay with your actions. And some people, they want to hear it from you, irrespective of your actions. Try to understand and do all these things to make them what? To help them feel better. And you as the one that is also working, that you just started or just launched your career, you have to also um, see in between the lines. The moment you notice that your work is not allowing you to be there for your people, you have to try as much as possible to go back to the drawing board. So what's the role of support? Support in career launch. Okay, we have different types of support. We have the emotional support. So the person relaunching their career may experience self-doubt, frustration, or fear of failure. You're just starting a new job and they told you that, okay, until after 6 months before we confirm you, and it requires a whole lot of effort on you doing this, doing that. Sometimes you're doubting yourself. They even have to, they eventually even confirm me. Am I meeting up with what I need to do? But when your spouse is there to support you, social support goes a very long way. Even there was a research that was done that says that people that maybe they are ill or in the hospital, so they compare the people that had social support, maybe they have family members that come in to check up on them, to buy those things they need, and someone that is just there all alone, he has to be the one to do the necessary things he needs to do. It was realized that people that have social support were even getting better faster than the other person. So social support, we all need people around us. We are social animals. We can't do it alone. We need people to help us around to get things done. So be there for your partner, actively listening to your partner concern without offering solutions. Sometimes you just need to vent. Sometimes your partner will come back from work and the whole thing is Mr. A did this, Mr. did this, that this is the client I met, this is what happened, this is how I dealt with it. They just wanted to vent. Sometimes they don't even need you to tell them that you should have been patient, should have been this. They just want to vent. They don't want someone to what to even judge them or to just say anything, but just that listening, yes. So it's also one of those important things that we need to put under the types of support. Financial support, this also comes back to um, temporary income, loss of investment in trading. The person that is working, perhaps you have a lot of things, that's why you're making huge amount of money, but there's a whole lot of trainings that you need to do that requires you to spend a lot of money. So, but when you guys come together and there's budgeting, you have open financial discussions, you talk about it. Communication, like I said earlier, everything we say here has to do with communication. Communication, you talk about it. Okay, this is what I'm getting. This is how we can do it. These are the projects we can do. And so at least it helps the both parties. Okay, we don't have, this is what we have left. This is what we can do for the end of or till the another month comes in. Because you've been able to have that conversation. And if you're lucky enough to have a kind partner and understanding partner, this it comes from a team effort. Like it's not about I'm the one making the money now. This is a family. We are trying to do things to get team rather than sacrifice by one person. These are the things that helps us to not feel like we are overdoing it or feel like am I the only one that is into all these things. Another thing is to understand the need for patience. patience is very, very important. Imagine you're just starting the job. There's a whole lot of things that you've not been doing that you've just started doing. So give time, be patient with them. Career launch takes time, and impatience can lead to frustration and argument. If you're not patient with your partner, whether the person that is working, that is just starting the work, or the person that has been working before, whichever one of them, patience is required from both parties. Setting realistic expectations together helps avoid unnecessary pressure. You can see that everything we are talking about has to do with you guys having to do together, carrying each other along. So when you're carrying each other along, it reduces assumption. It is when we communicate, this is what I'm going through, this is what you're going through. There's no room for unexpected, what's it called? No room for um, unspoken expectations. And you should know I'm feeling now. You should know that I just started the work now. No, we have to talk about it. You might not be, you might even know, but you might have a different thought about it. But when you talk about it, it's better. So talk about it, try to have that conversation. And the practical tips that can be helpful in situations like that is discuss a timeline for progress while staying flexible to change. Yes, you've had an agreement that this is what we will do. We have to also be flexible about it. Things can occur, things can happen that we never expected that would happen. So when we are flexible, it makes it easier for us to manage it. So flexibility is also one of those things that is also very important for us. How to stop support without overstepping. Yes, we trying to support, and at the same time, we need to avoid micromanaging ourselves or making decisions on behalf of the other party. So if something happens and it requires you that, okay, this other party is the one involved, why don't you ask questions? Why don't you ask how they feel about it rather than just being like, okay, we are adults, you don't have to micromanage each other. Make that question, ask them how do they want to do with this. Instead of pushing them too hard, offer gentle encouragement and reassurance. Maintain a positive attitude, even if progress is slow. You know, sometimes we tend to look at the end point, the long-term part is what we are focusing on. The small steps that we are taking, we are not looking at it. So let's encourage the small steps we are taking, the small support we are getting. Let us encourage that so that it helps us to move to the higher path we actually want to get to. So let us what? Show that, maintain that positive attitude, even in progress, even if the progress is slow, no matter how much it is, in as much as they are moving and they're not stagnant, they are trying to their best to get better. So let us be wary of that. So let's talk about communication. So what are the key communication strategies for smooth transition? One of it is having open and honest conversation. Be transparent about your career goals, fears, and expectations. Like I said, be open and honest. Don't say A when you mean B. Don't say B when you mean A. Talk about those fears you have, your expectation, because this is your partner. They can make and they can also they can make you and they can what's the right word to use? They can be that they can also be there to not allow you to get to where you want to get to if you are still with them. One way or the other, they can frustrate you. We've seen situations whereby sometimes maybe because of something that happened in the house, the wife will go to wherever the man is working to say one or two things, just maybe for them to lose their job or whatever it is, not knowing that on the long run, it is going to come back to them and vice versa too. So let us have open and honest conversation about our goals, our fears, and our expectations. Budging, you express it calmly instead of bottling up. You know, we tend to bottle up a lot of things. And one thing about bottling up your feelings is that at some point in time, it will there will be that outburst. There will be that outburst. And when there's that outburst, you maybe something small happened, you didn't talk about it, you're like, okay, you're just passively reacting towards it, passively passing your message, and not assertively passing your message. You keep it, and nothing will happen, you're keeping it, sweeping it under the rug. There will be a point, you'll see that when that bottle is full, that outburst, and something small will just trigger you. And that is when you start talking about a lot of things that have happened. And the other part will be like, But you never told me this. You never said this happened to you, and a whole lot of why are you always speaking about issues that happened 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? So let us try to, when issues happen, even if we cannot talk about it that moment, let us, okay, yes, we cannot talk about it some other time, but make sure you talk about it and let us finalize it and let it go. So one of those ways we can do this is what schedule weekly check-in to discuss progress, challenges, and feedback. Because sometimes challenges changes. What you're dealing with yesterday is not what you're dealing with today. Sometimes your feelings too changes. So when you're having that weekly, at least weekly check-ins, or maybe twice in a month or twice in a month, when you have that time to sit down and talk about it, we are able to know that okay, a lot of things have changed, and it helps us to know what I'm expecting from my partner. While we are also communicating, after we've been able to what to have an open and honest conversation. That is also communicate. How do we also communicate is also very important. Are you the type that when you want to have conversation, regardless of what your partner is doing, you don't care, you don't look at their mood, you don't look at what they are going through. Yes, you might have something important to say, but you have to also consider the other party that wants to listen to you. Are they in that good mood? You yourself, are you in that good mood? To be because there's some difficult conversations that the moment you start talking about it, there's high tendency that you escalate. There's high tendency. So when you don't look at the scenario, the timing to have that conversation, a lot of issues will come out of it. So one thing here is that we should learn to use a I statement instead of you statement. So this is when you are using the you. Okay, let me give an example that I've given here is you don't support me. Let's say you want to talk about some things that maybe your husband or your partner is not supporting you. You don't support me. You sounds like you're attacking the person. It feels like you are not, it feels like attacking, even if the person knows that they are wrong, but when you keep on using you every now and then to talk, it feels like you are attacking them. So why don't you rather say, I feel unsupported when efforts are not acknowledged? Maybe because the little effort you make despite your busy schedule, you're not acknowledged. So that you saying you don't support me. I feel unsupported when my efforts are not at. Now you're seeing how you feel. You're not attacking the person you're talking to. So it makes the person feel like, okay, you can hear statement of, okay, how can I help? What am I not doing? When you are not supporting me. And the person is actually doing some other things that maybe it doesn't feel like support to you. So the you statement feels like I'm not even doing anything at all. Whereas I'm actually doing something. So, but when we use the I statement, you are talking about yourself and you're not pointing fingers. So these are things that not even only with our partner, not only in our marriage, we can always use this to have conversations with every other person. So how do we do this? Well, one of those important things here that are written here is what practice active listening. Active listening is you having to listen. Every part of your body is listening when you're actively listening to someone. The person is talking, you're nodding your head, you are showing that, yes, I'm going on with you. If that's to do with, okay, all right. It's not like someone is talking to you, you're pressing your phone, or the person is talking to you, you're facing another thing, or you're watching another thing. At some point in this time, no matter how much the person start feeling like, is this person even listening to me? Okay, and that before you know, anger can come in from there. And okay, I don't even want to talk about it. You don't listen to me. You don't take me serious. Active listening is one of the most important things when it comes to us having to communicate. Not only the important thing, but one of it. Set clear expectations. So while you're talking, while you're communicating, define your roles and responsibility during career transition. Let them know. Let him know what is expected, what you are doing, what you are not doing, what you are capable of doing, how it is going. Discuss how household duties, finances, and quality time will be managed. Household duties, school runs, who go and pick the children at school, who would prepare the food for them, things like that. How would we manage this other part of the house, this anything that has to do with the house, to talk about it. Finances. See, finances is one of those things that causes a lot of issues. So we have to talk about it. Quality time, like you made mention of it earlier. Find time, no matter how busy you are. Find time, okay, 30 minutes, 1 hour. It could be, let's have video call, maybe at work, maybe have small time, call each other. Just make sure you find that time. It gives the other party that, yes, this person puts me at the back of your mind. And they usually say that no matter how to you. I want to believe that I hold on to that school of thoughts too. So write down key decisions and revisit them regularly to stay on track. So when you have conversations, when you agree on something, try to write them down and at the same time come back to revisit it. Okay, what have we done? What have we been able to manage? We agreed on this to spend this on this and this. Are we doing that or are we not following our agreement? When you write them down, you go back to check them. Express appreciation and reassurance. You see, this part it goes a very long way. No matter how much someone is doing a whole lot of things for you, and there's not that part of appreciation. Even if yes, you guys are married, appreciate each other, acknowledge each other's efforts, whether it's handling extra household tasks, providing financial support, or just there emotionally. Whatever it is, we usually hear a lot that what is it bringing to the table? It's not only finances, the fact that is there for you emotionally goes a long way. The fact that whatever it is that they bring to the table, it doesn't have to only be finances. The fact that someone cannot bring in money does not mean they are not bringing anything to the table. Let's try to change that note. A whole lot can be brought to the table without finances. Words of encouragement helps to reduce self-doubt and stress. So, one thing is that our body, whenever we are going through stress, a lot of hormones are released in the body. And sometimes when you maybe imagine your loved one just hugged you or you have an intimate moment together, the body releases something we call oxytocin. And all these things, all these hormones can help us to manage stress, helps us to deal with whatever we are doing, to manage pain, to manage stress, serotonin, balances our mood. So let us try to express appreciation. Appreciation can come in different ways. It can come financially. It can come with that thing I just seen in your mother. I appreciate it. I did this. I did that. It can come with gift. It can come with whatever it is. Let's try as much as possible to do that. Practical tips here says that thank you for supporting me. Would say that, or I appreciate everything you are doing. Small affirmations goes a long way. Okay. Okay. Conflict. Like we all know, conflict is inevitable in marriage. Even if two angels marry each other, they will have issues, one or two issues. And what is important is not even the conflict. The most important thing is how do we manage our conflict? Are we the type that manage it with whatever my partner wants, but you're pained inside? You're not talking, you're not saying what he did, you're not happy about. You see it under the bottle. Yeah, keeping it. Or are you the type that you're the dominating type? It is what I want that must stay. You guys are coming from different background, different childhood experiences, different personalities, and you're coming together and you expect you guys not to have issues. No, it will happen. Even people that lived in the same family, they have issues too. So, but what is important when this issue comes, how do we deal with it? Because of time, we don't have to start seeing different ways we can deal with conflict. But the best way to deal with conflict is to meet at the middle point, a win-win situation. It doesn't have to be, it's a teamwork. Always remember that when the good, when you make good decisions and it pays off, everybody would bear the consequences, the good. And when you make bad decision, don't now say because it was his decision we followed. Like when I told you that we should do this, we have to face it together. Don't see things like that because most of the time it brings about issues. So let us manage conflict constructively. And one of all those things we also see sometimes is that some people, whenever there's issues in the house, they shut down. Some people raise their voice aggressively using hurtful words. And all this can, if emotions runs high, takes a short break and revisit the discussion when both are calm. Or some people do the silent treatment. Silent treatment is also an abuse if we don't know today, because most of us, we do it. We shut down. So there's nothing wrong in something that happened and you feel bad about it. We're not saying you should not express your emotion. You feel bad about it. And now perhaps your partner is coming to meet you. Can we have a conversation about it? And that moment you cannot have it. There's nothing wrong with you having to express yourself. Like, see, please, you see, this moment, I can't talk. If we talk about it, there's high tendency that it will escalate. Can you please give me room? I'll meet you up later to talk about it. And don't use that to, don't now all the time you say that, and at the end of the day, you don't even end up bringing up that discussion. Marriage harmony comes with intentionality. You would have to be intentional about it. Yeah, we get sometimes no matter how much you have that conversation, you will still do the same thing. You have to keep on happening. In as much as we still want the marriage to work, you have to keep on happening. And sometimes you get to a point where maybe you have to readjust the way you deal with some of these issues. So let us avoid being aggressive towards each other, saying, oh, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. Always remember that those words brings about, there are some that even after you say sorry, will still be there. And let us not forget that most of the time, we can forgive, but we usually do not forget. So whenever issues comes up, you come up again with shit. That was how you said it the other time. That was how you insulted my this. That was how you did that. So let us try as much as possible. When we know we don't have good words to say, let us what keep our mouth shut. Or perhaps let us try to leave that situation. Perhaps you work out. Working out now, I'm not saying that maybe you're having something with someone and you just walk out of the person. Perhaps please can we have this later? Can we continue this later? Or you notice that you're going to see something that would make you that you end up regretting. Perhaps you just try to not even talk, just be there for that moment. And when you see the other party is calm enough, you please can we have this conversation later. All these things has to be with what is something that when we gradually do it, it becomes part of us. Non-verbal communication matters too. Your body language, facial expression. You might not say anything, but imagine you having to you know now those non-verbal or easy or all those things generally goes a very, very long way. Your facial expression, even the kind of tone you're using to talk to is also very, very important while you're communicating with your partner. A cold or dismissive tone can create distance. You can say some words that your partner will start looking like, see the person I got married, are you the one saying these kind of things to me? Or because you have issues, you start bringing about things that are gone, things that maybe one way or the other, as a result of my partner, I'm telling you some of my secrets, start using it against them. Let's just try to avoid that. Simple gestures like eye contact, nodding, or reassuring touch show support and understanding. You're talking to someone and the person is maintaining eye contact. It gives you that sense that okay, this person is wanting to listen to what I am saying and nodding your head, reassuring touch, you have to move closer to the person. Things like that are what are very, very important. If a conversation feels tense, take a moment to reset your tone and approach. You might take a moment. Can we have this conversation later if it is becoming out of hand? So let's move to the aspect of the balance aspect, which is having to achieve work-life balance as a couple. Why work-life balance is very important is that with balance, one or both partners may feel overworked, neglected, or overwhelmed. Career relaunch of tune require extra effort, but neglecting personal time can lead to stress, emotional disconnection, or burnout. A well-balanced approach helps sustain marital harmony and overall well-being. So one thing that is very, very important in this whole thing is that no matter what it is you are doing with your partner, you have to also learn to take care of yourself. You have to be in that right mental state. So try to do things that gives you joy, things that gives you happiness, so that it is what you have that you can give to others. So sometimes when we come to sessions and you hear maybe the woman saying that I'm still in this marriage because of my children, I'm in this because of this, because of that. But are you aware that even this should happen to those children, you'll be anything should happen to you, the children will be fine. So we need to learn to take care of ourselves. It is when we are in a good state, that is when we can even know how to manage the excesses of others. But when mentally we are stressed, any small thing will not lead to issues for us. So prioritizing quality time together, a busy schedule should not eliminate couples time. Thank God it's Friday. Just go out, spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, do one or two things, come back to the house. Share time. Make sure you have that time for yourself. Small moments of connection matters. Even if time is limited, prioritize meaningful conversations, shared activities, and intimacy. Avoid letting stress from the career relaunch dominate all discussion. Make time for fun and relaxation. We all have those things that we enjoy doing. You know what your partner loves doing. You yourself, you know what you love doing. Find time to do it. Prioritize your time. It is not only because before we get married that we should only take each other out. Some people, the moment they get married, like, when was the last time you went out? You ask them, it has been a while. Though you don't have to wait till February 14 before you take each other out. Always find time. It doesn't have to be one big, you don't have to leave the country. You don't even have to leave the state before you find time for yourself. You have been on vacation or the little time you have, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, spend time together. Schedule date night or short daily checks in to reconnect. Just make sure you find that time for each other, no matter how small it is. All this, when you do it, it makes your partner know that yes, no, they have a place in your heart. You're finding time for them, but you just put so much time for your career, and a lot would happen that you wouldn't even be aware of. Set boundaries between work and personal life. Get a life outside work. Some people it's just work, 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 or you put so much time to the point that the people at home are not even they don't even expect you. So I've seen a situation whereby um the woman would sometimes she doesn't even come home. She has to maybe she'll say something that happened. She has to stay at work. The man is trying to no matter how much he's understand, at some point in time, even if it is the man to the woman, at some point in time he gets tired and try to find lifetime. Sometimes some people work well with not having to take work home. For someone like me, I try as much as possible not to take work home. And that really helps. No matter what it is, sometimes call sometime, no matter how much it is, the emergency, I wouldn't pick that call because I just have to find time for other things too. Sometimes the kind of work you do is even stressful. So imagine you having to take that back home, and there's an expectation from you at home. You have to be there for them too. So try as much as possible to set boundaries between your work and your personal life. Avoid working late into personal time. That time that both of you had, say you want to talk about family, that is not when you're having that conversation. You now carry your laptop and be, I say, I just want to quickly reply an email. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be some people are already laughing because some of us do it here. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. No, find the moment is your personal time. Make time for it. And there should also be something like we define your no work zones. Maybe during dinner, when we're having dinner in the house, everybody's having dinner together. That time, nobody must do any other thing. It has to be family time. It could be in the bedroom or on the weekends and things like that. Just do something that works for both of you. No matter what it is, you always try to carry each other along. Take care of individual well-being. Okay, I think I made mention of this. Individual well-being. Now, not even about your partner, but you. Self-care is crucial. You have to take care of yourself. And how can you take care of yourself? Mentally, your mental health, very important. Mental health, physical. And you know, when we talk about health, it's not only the mental health and the physical health. Your social life is also very important. Your 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 emotional life, your psychological life, your um, health goes on different, not only the physical aspects. Maybe you have issues, you go to the doctor, or you have issues, you are seeing the psychologist. Or health generally encompasses a whole lot of things. So let us try to work on that aspect as an individual. Exercising helps you sleep well. As an adult, you're meant to have 7 to 8 hours sleep. Try to have it. Try to work on your appetite, managing your thoughts. The moment you are seeing that, is it a lot of negative thoughts that you keep on having every now and then? Perhaps you have to see a professional, work around that. Take care of yourself. Don't wait until you break down before they start taking you around. Make sure you find time to take care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself, and taking care of yourself, it also has to do with you even engaging in fun activities, what you enjoy doing. Because the moment you are doing that, your body is releasing some hormones that helps you to be able to manage stress that comes in around you. So when you do that, support each other in maintaining mental, physical, and emotional health. Okay, encourage each other to exercise, engage in relaxing activities. You want to go to the spa, you want to whatever it is that helps you to relax. We are individual. What helps me to relax and what helps you to relax? Identify it and try to what to work on it. Be flexible and adapt to changes. Don't be a rigid person. This is what we agreed on. This is how we do so. Changes happen. You see, that change is even constant. So many things will happen. The moment you're okay, you guys are just getting married, there's a way it affects you. Now you become okay, let me start from when you were just a boyfriend or a girlfriend. There's some things that is required of you. Another change will come the moment you become a wife. Another change will come the moment you become a mother. Another change will come the moment you become maybe a mother-in-law, whatever it is. But changes happen every now and then. So let us try to be flexible and adapt to changes. When it comes to job now, not everything will go as planned. Yes, unexpected changes may arise, delayed job offer, relocation, financial setbacks. Maybe some people could love their job, and the moment they lost their job, and some changes will definitely occur. What you are earning is not what they are earning before, and now you are the one working. A lot of pressure might start coming. You have to find a way to balance it and talk about it. Couples should stay adaptable and solution focused rather than feeling discouraged. View challenges as problems, as team problems, not individual failures. Let us cultivate the habit of we should be solution focused and not the problem. Let us, yes, the problem, we've identified it, but let us pay more attention to the solution to the problem rather than the problem. And when things like this occur, let us sit as a team. It's not only when things are going fine, when challenges would happen, which will come from anywhere, let us also try to work around it and find a way to deal with it, solution to that problem. If plans change, communicate openly and adjust expectations together. You and your partner had agreed on some things, and there's a change. If you can't make a call immediately, text. You understand? He's not responding. If you can later make a call, but let them feel that feeling of okay, yes, this person is putting me into consideration. So let us try to can see communication, almost everything that we are talking about. No marriage will work without communication. Okay. So I intentionally added this part of it because most of the time career relaunch sometimes can affect sexual intimacy. And because earlier when I was talking, I made mention of five things that is very, very important. That whenever issues is coming around these five things, the marriage towards is getting to eat the rock. So sexual aspect is very, very important. Understanding the impact of career launch on intimacy. Increased workload or stress may lead to reduced sex desire or emotional distance. Kind of work you do is very, very hectic. And before you know it, be that you can go like 5 times in a week having sexual intimacy. Before you know it, you can even barely have 2 times. And your partner is used to that 5 times. Issues like that can happen. So, what are those ways at which you can try to manage it? View intimacy as a way to reconnect.
Sabang
Okay, view into business. So it's not until when you have the sex itself, but hugs, kisses, compliments, things like this too can also help you because you understand that the truth is you've gone all day. Sometimes these things affect your sexual drive. And before you know, if you do not manage it properly, emotional distance will start coming. So we are saying all this because these are the realities that we see. Sometimes say, when she started working, she doesn't even have time for me, she doesn't take our sexual life. So we've been staying in that house for over 5 months and we've never had sex. And you're married. How are you being able to deal with that? Sexual intimacy. And the thing is, one way or the other, there's high tendency that one party might have to look for it elsewhere. Some people don't even know how to, they don't, I don't want to disturb you, know, they start looking elsewhere, which does not really help on the long run. A lot of disadvantages comes from that. So let us try, even if it is hugs, kisses. There was a time I was having a session with her, like, we don't hug each other. And you're married. How are you dealing with that? How are you managing that? It doesn't have to be only that sex itself. Before you get to that level, what are those things that you do that helps you to stay intimate with each other? Keeping intimacy alive amid career transition, very important. Prioritize physical connection, like you made mention earlier. Even during busy periods, intimacy should not be neglected. Communicate openly about your needs and expectation. Discuss any emotional or physical concern regarding sex. You have sex with your husband. you have sex with your wife, let them know that, Mr. Man, I do not feel this sex. Don't let us leave this old way of doing things. Like if you, I don't want them to start feeling like I am what's it? I don't have to be the one to ask for it. He has to be the one to ask for it. No, let us leave that aside. You do not feel it, let him know. Communicate about it. If it has to do with maybe it doesn't do you well, you don't feel, you can see a sex therapist, let them help you to spice up your sexual life. There's nothing wrong in it. Not everybody is good at that aspect. Don't ask, seek for help from a professional. It's better that way. See a sex therapist, talk about it. How can you manage yourself? Be creative and spontaneous. Plan romantic moments, even if schedules are tight. No matter how tight it is, make sure you find that time to have your romantic moment. Time, maybe it's just Netflix and chill, whatever it is, just make sure you find that time, no matter how busy you are. Practical tips should be schedule intimate time, just like other priorities. The same way you put time to everything. The fact that you're putting time to have a romantic moment doesn't make it feel less romantic, but it makes you feel like, yes, it is very, very important. You need to find time. Perhaps your busy schedule does not give room that you can just say anytime it will happen. But because of a busy schedule, you need to know that you need to plan your time. And there's nothing wrong in you having to plan time to have your intimate time together. Children, there's no how we'll talk about this, that children will not be involved. They face the whole thing. When the marriage is not working, the children face it. When mommy and daddy are not being able to manage their conflict, they are learning. Like I said earlier, they learn from imitation. When you guys are able to manage, they see how you are managing your struggles. They see how you are managing your frustration, and they become like that. Sometimes we see that the mother or the father will say, see, your firstborn is always angry, he's always beating his siblings. They are seeing it from what you are doing. It is what you are doing, they are also doing. If it's that you always manage them with care, the way you correct them, maybe use positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. These are the ways. They also do the same thing because they came in with, there's something we call tabula rasa, clean slate. They don't know anything. They are their first form of socialization. What they are seeing from is what they are also acting out. And children do well by what is not what you tell them to do, is what they see you doing that they most of the time do. Time constraints, less availability for children due to job search, training, or work demands. So we need to, as much as we are putting our partner into consideration, the children also we have to put them into consideration. Let me share an event that happened that I witnessed. So there was these two couples, and they one is a doctor, the other one is also doing well, but the woman, they were having issues. And when we asked, she was like, over a year, they've not even had anything sexual intimacy. So she's not always available because of the kind of job she does. And the man was molesting their, I think the female child was, I think, 14-year-old. He was giving it to her from the back, and it has got to a point where he has said a lot of things. He has told her that that him as the father is the one that would hand over her to a man, that what he's doing to her is the normal thing. He has restructured her mind. She felt like it is the normal thing. The second one was into porn, always masturbating, and a whole lot has happened. These are female children. I'm not saying this that, okay, maybe we should be fearful of leaving our children with our husband. What I'm saying is that if she was involved and she was able to balance it, one way or another, she'll have noticed this. She was not even the one that noticed. It was from the church that they were asking, okay, something happened. She wanted to talk about. She could not even talk to it about her mother. Perhaps the parenting style was totally wrong. So the children, as a way about, we need to also put them, carry them along, because we don't have time, end up feeling like neglect. My mom was not there for me, my this was not there. When issues happen, they don't even know who to talk to. Time constraint, less availability for children due to job search, training, or work. Guilt. Sometimes parents will may feel guilty about not spending enough time with their kids. Not some people would, they want to, but perhaps these bills has to be paid. We need to do this for you and this and that. they start feeling that way. Parental disagreements, conflict may arise over childcare, discipline, or household. And one thing that is very, very important that we need to understand when it comes to discipline the children, the both party, the mother and the father, you have to be on the same page. Don't create a house whereby the children are able to see, okay, if something happens, let us go and meet daddy. Daddy will say something different. Both of you have to be on the same page. Yes, you might have different opinion, but not in the presence of the children. If the man does something you don't like, don't correct him in the presence of the children. You can find a way, talk to him about, and I didn't like how you did it, I didn't like how. Let them always know that if mommy said no candy, daddy too will say no candy. Not okay, we want candy, mommy says no, and they can go and meet daddy and they will get their candy. Very, very important. Parental disagreements, conflict may arise over childcare. Solution: reassure the children and involve them in small ways. Explain career changes in a way they understand and ensure they feel emotionally secure. If there are going to be changes, they are starting something, call them in and let them be aware. Children of nowadays, they are smart. You understand? So talk to them about it. Let them just have, it's not like suddenly you're not just available. They are used to you being available. Let them know why things are changing and why you needed to do what you're doing. So strategies for managing parenting responsibility, share responsibility. Both partners should take part in child's care duties, prevent one person from feeling overburdened. Let us not leave it to one part. Perhaps you have more time, like I said earlier, you can be the one doing the school runs, or you can be the one cooking in the morning. It doesn't have to be the man or the woman that is doing it. Let's put the fact that something has changed. There's a new career, this one person, let us put into consideration. Okay, because of time. All right, so let's go towards the case study part. So there's a case study here that's the background. Let me just say these names here are not real, confidentiality. They are just names I just came up with. So it says a couple, 242 and Amaka, 38, had been married for 10 years. Amaka had taken a career break to raise their two children, but wanted to return to the workforce after 6 years that she has left. She needed to upgrade her skill, so she enrolled in the certification course and applied for jobs. So while she did this, there was a lot of challenges that she faced. One of it is time constraint. Amaka had less time for the family and household responsibilities. There was role shift, so they one had to take on more house duties, which he found difficult. He was not used to it. Now there's a change because Amaka is trying to do other things. Financial strain. Amaka's job search meant she was not able to contribute financially. Emotional stress. Amaka felt guilty for spending less time with the kids and today felt neglected. Financial strain. Okay, I made mention of that. So how were they able to navigate this whole thing? So they're able to what? They scheduled time for communication. Despite our busy schedule, we need to find time to talk. Like I said earlier, communication is very important. Weekly checks in helped them to express concern and adjust their expectations. The expectation of I will always be available is no longer there because now I am what? I am trying to look for a job. I'm trying to pick my career back. So they had to talk about it and they had to manage their expectations. They created a household plan. Tunde started helping with school runs while Amaka focused on studying. They set intimacy goals. They plan weekly date nights, or perhaps 2 times in a month, or once in a month, a moment of affections to maintain closeness. They involve the kid also. They assure the children and schedule dedicated family bonding time. Landed the job and their marriage remained strong because they adapted and communicated effectively. Don't assume when it comes to that. You should know now. I've started a new job. You should know I will not have time. You have to sit and talk about it. Let me pick one more case study. I have three here, but because of time. So it says Kemi and Wale. Kemi is 35 and Wale. This case study looks at balancing a high stress career and marital harmony. So it says Kemi is 35 and Wale is 40. And they have been married for over 7 years. While Wale is just starting his own law firm, It required him long hours and heavy commitment. Kemi worked as an HR and had a stable career, but felt neglected due to Wale's workload, new workload. So the challenges they faced was there was emotional distance. Wale was often too exhausted to engage in meaningful conversations. They're just starting a startup, and the one doing the work of the secretary, doing the work of this, doing the work of that. So there was not really no time for them. Sexual intimacy declined, perhaps having to meet each other frequently. But now, because of that, Wiley is always tired and their sexual intimacy dropped. Kemi felt emotionally disconnected, which affected their physical relationship. There was parenting stress. Their two children began to notice the tension in the home. And this one way or the other would affect them. It could affect their studies at school, and you see them being unnecessarily aggressive, not being able to manage their emotions because of things that are happening in the house. So how were they able to navigate it? They were able to what? They set work boundaries. Wale committed to leaving work early, at least twice a week for family time. He was able to rekindle the intimacy. They planned a weekend getaway to reconnect emotionally and physically. Parenting teamwork, they agreed to share bedtime duties, allowing for more bonding with the kids because now the kids are seen and their needs needed to be met. They sought external support. They joined couples group for mentorship and guidance. Outcome, by being intentional about reconnecting, they rebuilt their intimacy and created a better balance between work and family life. Marriage is all about intentionality. All these things that we are saying, yes, yes, this, for you to be able to continuously do, you have to be intentional about this thing I am doing, how will it affect my husband? This thing I'm not really affecting my wife, how will it affect my partner? You have to put them into consideration because whatever it is that you're part of the family, whatever decision you make has a way of affecting them. Moderator, do I still have more time?
Yes,
She
so
there?
so I think you're almost rounding up. So let's see if we can be done by 6:30. That would be great, to 6:40 next. Yeah. So I've done 1 hour.
Okay. All right. So let me take the third case study then. So it says the background says Ahmad is 39 and Zainab is 36, and they have been married for over 12 years. Ahmad had a well-paying job but was laid off, and decided to start a business. Zainab is a nurse, became a sole breadwinner, while Ahmad built a new career. Look at the changes that have occurred. This comes about the financial aspect now. This case study focuses on the financial aspect. So what are the challenges they faced? Financial strain. They had to cut expenses and adjust to their new lifestyle. Ahmad has lost his job. That is a startup business, and there was this particular level they were before, but a lot had happened. So they had to cut down their lifestyle. Ego struggles. Well, I want to believe it's not only man that have ego. Both parties, we all have ego. But yeah, it says Ahmad felt inadequate as he wasn't providing financially. Communication breakdown. They began arguing frequently about money. So how did they manage it? First of all, what they did was they had an open financial discussion. They reviewed their budget and planned for necessary cutbacks. What are the things we cannot manage this? We cannot do this again. What are those things we need to cut? What are those things we need to change? They were able to have that conversation and they were able to agree. They had a, can you see now that communication is very important? When they were able to sit down and talk about it, to manage their expectations, it helped them to manage the situation that was arising. Ahmad contributed in other ways. He might not be able to give in money right now, but what he was able to what he managed the home and helped with school runs while building his business. He has more time. He's building his business. He can manage his own time. He doesn't have to leave home as early as 8. So he was able to manage the home affairs and leaving Zainab to do other things. He reinforced the emotional support. Zainab reassured Ahmad that financial contribution wasn't the only maker of value in their marriage. So on this, she noticed that okay, this man was feeling like because I'm the one dropping money, So it means that maybe some little things that would happen that you guys would joke about, but because she's the one dropping money, started seeing it as you're abusing my ego, you're this. So she had to start letting you know, see, it's not only about money. Other things are also very important. And I appreciate other things that you're doing. They maintain intimacy. They schedule regular time together to avoid resentment build up. So what was the outcome? After 18th month, Ahmed's business became profitable and their marriage remained strong because they supported each other through the transition. Very important. Support is one of those things you made mention. Support, communication, and balance was the three main things we focused on today. And as you can see, Zainab and Ahmed was able to manage their issues that came as a result of transition because they supported, because they communicated, because they sat down and they were intentional about about everything that they were supposed to do. Every couple situation is unique. Let's have that at the back of our mind. But the key to marital harmony during a career relaunch is adaptability, having to be able to adapt to the new lifestyle. Communication, very important. Teamwork and emotional connection. So what are the practical tips to enhance marital harmony during career launch? Prioritize open and honest conversation, establish clear role adjustment, and household responsibility. This still going back to what communication. Maintain emotional and physical intimacy. Very, very important. Don't say because now I'm always busy. So there's not going to be time for emotional and physical. These are the things you've seen so many times. People come position like, do you know that I don't even love my husband again? I'm just there because of the kids. I can't remember the last time I told him I love him. I still heard that today in the session. I can't remember the last time I told him because I can't say it because I don't feel like that again. So, and all this thing, there's a lot of things that happen that causes it. But one of it sometimes is when there's no, that emotional and physical intimacy is no longer there. It brings about a lot of detachment from both parties. Support each other's growth and mental well-being. This is very important. It should be a win-win. If your partner is getting promotion, getting this, don't say because of your own um, low self-esteem, start feeling like, hey, if she's able to achieve that, it's going to affect me. So you start doing things to frustrate her so that she will not get to that part. It should supposed to say teamwork. Whoever is winning, the family is winning. That should be the right way to do things. Teamwork. Keep parenting a shared responsibility. It is not only the woman or the man that would manage some things. Every party has a part to play. If the woman is seeing some things and she's telling you as the man that these are the things I noticed though. Don't leave it to her. Encourage. Also notice all those things. Also try to look at it and work around it. There was a couple I saw one time like that, and now they are separated. But what the thing that happened was one of the reasons the woman complained about was that if she noticed, she's a teacher, if she notices anything in the children and she tells her husband, the man is not, doesn't take it serious. And it was painful for her because she understood she cannot do it alone. So it got to a point whereby the children are now seeing her as she's the hard one. Anything she sees and she notices, the father would see it as why are you overreacting and things like that. So it got to a point they later realized that their 10-year-old child was masturbating. He spends a lot of time in the toilet. How did all this start? Because she even said it that this man managed the kind of time you be giving the phone to your children, things like that. They were not on the same page when it comes to parenting. And on the long run, it affected the children. And masturbation is a whole lot of things. It takes a whole lot of work to stop it. One can be addicted to it at that tender age. And at some point in time, she was tired and it affected the children. Now it affected the marriage on the long run. Okay. So the final takeaway here is that teamwork is key. You have to do it. It's a joint effort. Don't say it's only the man that should or the woman that should do it. Balance is dynamic. What works today may need adjustment later. Be flexible, stay flexible. Love, patience, and commitment. these are the foundation of marital harmony. Love, very important. Perhaps you loved each other, that's why you started the whole relationship thing. But sometimes one way or the other, it's no longer there. It's no longer there. We hear that a lot of times. People are just still in marriage because of choice. I already have children for him. But this, or most of the, sometimes it has reduced. Not always. There are good stories too. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Patience, very important. You are getting married to someone, or there's a change in your career. Like you said, is that patience is very important. Some people find it difficult to manage change. It takes them months to adapt. Some people they start adapting immediately. So you have to try to understand the kind of partner you have. Commitment still very important. You have to be committed towards each other. Try to do things that would put smile on the other party and not always fight and fight all the time. You are a team, not opponents. You're not in any kind of you're not trying to win a trophy and maybe both of you are in different team. You guys should see it as a team. So if one party is winning, the other party too is one party is winning, the other party is winning. If one party is losing, the other party too is losing. Don't say that's your problem. Go and deal with it. Very, very celebrate each other's win and support each other's struggles. It is not only when it is sweet. I usually tell people that see, when you are choosing a partner, don't choose them because of the good things you know about them. It's easy to like you because you're kind, you have money, you have this. But do you know their bad side? Do you know how they manage anger? Do you know how, when conflict arises, how they deal with it? When you know all these things, and you're still able to say, okay, yes, I can still manage this. I can still deal with this. That is when you should say you want to go ahead with someone. It's easy to like them for their good part, but that bad part, if you've not seen someone, you've not seen them how they manage their anger, you don't know their conflict style, how they manage their conflict, you're not ready to get married to that person. So because you would see conflict when you get married. Some a lot of changes would happen, and how they deal with it is also very important. Not the conflict itself. Uh, okay. A successful career relaunch should not come at the cost of a healthy marriage, because you're trying to build your career, you're trying to go back to work. Your marriage should not pay for it. With communication, very important. Compromise and commitment. There's now you not compromise for each other. Because when conflict arises, like I said earlier, the best way to manage to deal with conflict is a collaborative style. And when you're collaborating, there's going to be compromise. In as much as you're not compromising the things you're not supposed to compromise. It's not like you're compromising because I want my marriage to work and this man is abusing me sexually, this man is abusing me physically, verbally, emotionally, financially, because that's not what we are trying to talk about. But having to meet at a point, collaborative and commitment, couples can achieve both professional. So when all this is there, there's communication, there's compromise, and there's commitment. Couples can achieve both professional and personal fulfillment. Thank you very much.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Hussein. Also, because of time, very quickly, if anyone has questions, they can raise their hands. You can raise your hand. Raise your hand. Let me see. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can drop it. But I really had like very striking moments. I mean, I've had sessions with you. I used to say that Mr. Hussein, if I'm getting angry, should I call you? Should I? Because there's a way you talk to your clients and you make them feel relaxed and you acknowledge, their anger. Like, there's a lot of things I took away from my session with you, but I really want to say thank you because this was a loss and we have a lot of key takeaways. So does anybody have questions, please, very quickly because of time, please? Does anybody have questions, please? Anyone? Okay, so practically, I'll say if somebody's trying to relaunch their career, right, and their husband is saying an outright no, like you can't do it. What do we do in that case, please?
Okay. Okay, yes, usually things like this happen. I mean, yeah, we tend to hear it most of the time. All this still comes back to uh, having to communicate it, having to have that difficult conversations and try to, when people say no, sometimes it's as a result of some fears or, okay, if you start working, is she still going to listen to me? Is this going to happen? What would happen? But when you're patient enough and you show empathy in the sense that you try to put the other person in your own shoes to that, okay, what if it was me? How would I feel about it? Would I also um, want this to happen? You understand? So you're not turning it to fight immediately. No, 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 no. Why? Because you need the support. You need their support to be able to do this thing effectively. Because the fact that you guys are still together, you're married together, they can make it difficult for you. So with patience and having to have that conversation with them, you would eventually be able to help them see reasons and you carry them along while all this is happening. And that does not change the fact that some people, maybe because of um, their African mentality, or tell you, no, we are not going to work, we are not going to do this, you're not going to, perhaps if it comes to that, in some instances like that, you could have to talk to someone that they can listen to after you've tried. Because me, one thing I always try to advise is avoid third party. You guys should learn to manage your problem yourself. If you have to involve a third party, involve a professional that does not know both of you, that would come from the professional aspect, that will come from scientific based evidence to help you deal with your issues. So if you've tried all your possible means, patience, and not fight, and not, I have to do this, I have to, no, be patience and having to help you see reasons why you need to do this. You understand? Along the line, you would eventually get it right.
Thank you so much. And I believe also what you said that with time changes a lot of things. Some things that we're worrying about today, in 2 months' time, they can change. That husband that says, don't do this or do this, if you are calm and, and pray, maybe talk to a counselor, he might change his mind, just exact maybe 2 or 3 months from now. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to take two questions and we'll call it a day. One question
Mhm.
is, how can I manage communication with my partner? This question is in the chat. I communicate
Okay.
better using text. This way, I'm able to think properly before putting out my words. But my partner prefers face-to-face communication, and most times I don't have the right words to express myself.
Okay. The thing here is that now both party, I don't want to say that we guys should come for therapy because the thing is texting does not really give that um, there's some things that you would not see if it's easy to construct or misunderstand someone while texting. I understand that works here, but see, communication is something you can learn. And if one has a good partner that is able to be patient with you, gradually you're able to come out of it. But one thing I would suggest is that you try to start having to have that conversation with him. Like, I mean, physically and gradually. You see, one thing about learning is when you're consistently doing something, you become better at it. So do the texting sometimes, but in as much as your partner prefers that one way or the other, you would sometimes have to do the texting and sometimes have to still meet him physically. So you can't just stick to the fact that it's always going to be the texting part you always. So, like I said earlier, you have to meet at the point. This alone that you made mention can cause a lot of conflict between both of you. It can cause a lot of conflict. So, but having to meet at the point, him having to understand, okay, this is the kind of person I have as a partner. She doesn't like talking, she doesn't like the physical distance. So there are some times that you would have to accept the fact that you would text through the phone, and sometimes you have to still do it physically. But that physical thing, you do more of it, and gradually you become better at it. That is one thing. Consistently doing it, you become better at it.
Thank you very much. And I hope that that answers your question. Then the last question would be, my question is for someone who is tired of office work and feels like starting a business, but the husband is saying that she can't do business because he is not seeing the entrepreneurial skill in her. What can this person do, please?
Okay, so one thing is that the first thing is the husband is not even going through the right way, because how can you say people that even have these skills, it is learning. Okay, if you feel like your wife does not have it, why can't you be there to help her? She can go through some training that would help her to be skilled in doing all these things, rather than having to tell her that she cannot do it. So me, I don't buy the idea that there's nothing you cannot do. Whatever it is that we are doing today, all these things that I'm saying here, I learned it one way or the other. I had to go to school, experiences, and become like that. So if he is saying that, okay, yes, you feels like you do not have it, why don't you go for classes, go for whatever it is that you can learn to become better at it. There are classes you can go that would skill you up to be able to do this particular thing. So don't let whatever you are saying to kill that dream inside you. If that is what you want, you can go for classes, or if you also believe that you don't have enough skills to be able to do that particular thing, go for classes, learn more about it, and before you know it, you are better at it. There's nothing we cannot do in as much as we put our mind to it, and you see yourself flourishing in that particular thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hussein, and I hope that this answers your questions, please. Um, please let us know how we can contact you. Please, how can they reach you? And ladies, to be very honest, please reach him if you have issues. Book a session with him, paid session, and all of that, and let him help you handle issues. Some of the issues are dealing with in marriage, they are totally unnecessary, and it's costing you a lot because your mind is not even at rest because you know you are not in harmony with your spouse. So please reach him. How do we reach you, please?
Okay, I think you have my email and my contact too. So you can,
Yes.
yes, you can drop
Yeah,
it.
you can
And
also drop the phone number and you can drop them in the chat so that they can pick it up from there too.
okay,
I don't think on IG is with a different name, but he's very active on WhatsApp. So you should definitely get his number. He's very active on WhatsApp. Yeah. And maybe you should open a therapy page for him, right, Tochi? Should come and talk to us. I mean, you should have a page and become an influencer. Before you know now, Mr. Hussein, I'll be your manager. I'll create contest for you. Give you all I'll collect the booking fees and all.
no problem.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Without much ado, so because of time, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate everyone who has stayed with us till this very time. We really do appreciate it. For everyone who joined, we hope that you learned at least one or two things. For me, I learned a whole lot. I've taken notes, and of course, 2025 will be a better year, you know, for all of us. So at this junction, permit me to say thank you very much and good night to everyone. If you have more questions, you can either reach him or reach me, then I can still get across to him. So thank you and goodbye for now.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for having me. All right, bye.
Thank you for coming.